All right, a very good evening to everybody. I'm your host Yash from IMI. Welcome to the panel. Welcome to the keynote session with Mr. Manish Agarwal, CEO of Nazara Technologies. We would like to begin by thanking all of you for attending today and making this event the success that it's been. We would also like to thank our sponsors, our title partner Games 24/7, powered by Apps Flyer in association with Trackier, Platinum Partner OnePlus, Content Delivery Partner Limelight Networks, supported by Invest India, Knowledge Partner Redseer. And without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Manish Agarwal. Um, I would request any audience members to please type in your questions in the chat box, and we will answer them at the end of the session. All right, Mr. Agarwal, over
Yeah,
to you.
thanks, Yash. Good evening, everyone. Namaskar. Lovely to be here, to be really part of Gato. This year at IMI Gaming Committee, when we sat down to really look at what should be, what should we do with the Gato, because you have attended so many conferences, I have attended conferences, speaker, participant. The key idea was to really see how can we really benefit out of this conference. How can we make it meaningful for everyone who is attending it. And then we went about defining, along with Akshat from Nordwinds, Ali Sai from MPL, Ali from Miros, Banu, everyone. And one of the things which we really kind of understood was that gradually at IMAI, we want to be really standing for these small developers, small gaming companies, which are really the heart of the whole ecosystem in India. And how do we really make this platform, starting with Gato, a platform where they can really benefit, they can get mentors if they need, they can get money, and they can need credits. If we can do that to the gaming ecosystem, I think that is where IMI Gaming Committee, Gato, and all of us who are working will really be successful in our endeavor to act as a catalyst for this whole ecosystem to really grow. All of us are here. It is not a surprise that we are here. As India is the fastest growing gaming market in terms of gamers, we have 450 million gamers and growing. We have all segments of gaming growing, whether it's casual gaming happening around us from across age groups, across genders, or social competitive multiplayer gaming happening across us, or skill-based real money gaming happening. The absolutely the penetration of mobile device has kind of taken this whole entertainment piece by storm, and gaming has become the dominant format for entertainment in this country and will further solidify its position by miles over any other entertainment format. And that's where all of us who are associated with this ecosystem are striving towards, working towards making this a very strong gaming monetization place so that we can really build companies, we can build businesses, we can build businesses in India for India, and we can build businesses in India for globe. There are fundamental important aspects which one needs to really take care. And I think this is a good forum, and I really want to give credit to the organizing IMAI team for bringing in a lot of policymakers today in these sessions, where one of the key need is that we need stability of the policy, we need clarity of the policy. There are multiple people who are working together, whether under CII, under FICCI, under IMAI, but the key need is that we need to have a stability of policy with the central government, with the state government. We need a clarity of policy on the ad networks. Somebody takes an ad of, let's say, a fantasy and rummy, but doesn't take an ad of poker. I don't know why. Uh, you need a policy on the app stores, on Google Play. You need policy clarity on the advertising council. You need policy clarity on payment. So all across ecosystem, given that we are a very nascent industry, we are just kind of really emerging, very strong need for us to engage with various stakeholders uh, to evangelize different aspects of gaming, to evangelize what can be done and how does the gaming needs to be looked at, so that we can really shape and help in this creating an enabling framework and a policy framework. And I think a lot of us from the gaming industry have really kind of volunteered to work with IMAI and other bodies to really make this happen. So one of the key thing which is important for investment to come in, as most of you or some of you would have read, the amount of investment in gaming has been amazing in the last 2 years. Today itself, gaming gave one new unicorn to India, MPL. Congratulations to whole team, Sai and Shubham. Uh, our own IPO was an amazing success, and we continue to really keep striving and doing that we can do really better than what we really started our journey as an IPO. Many other companies like Dream, Winzo, Get Mega, and there are so many companies which are getting investment today. So it is a very, very strong segment which can really generate huge amount of FDI, can generate revenue for central and state exchequer, and not only that, can create soft IPs for the world to really see what the creative potential and talent lies. So I think that's a very important sphere for us to really look at and work on it. But coming back to the whole ecosystem development, because I believe in India we really have a firepower, we have the capability to become the gaming powerhouse of tomorrow, and we need to really focus on skilling as an aspect. Now, scaling can be part of your a very defined pedagogy. It can be part of your on-job training, and there, how do we really create an enabling environment for a lot of global companies to come and set up their offices? As you would have seen, our recent successes in the Indian gaming ecosystem have been a byproduct of Zynga, and people who have worked in Zynga have created very successful businesses. They've created scale. Some of them exited. Some of them are really doing very well. But that's where the training ground has happened. Like when I was in Hindustan Lever, it used to be called the CEO factory. Similarly, Zynga seems to be becoming an gaming entrepreneur factory, and we need many more such factories to happen in India so that we can tap into the capabilities, raw capabilities of the Indian ecosystem, which is there. All of us, including Nazara and others, we are working towards how do we really support the gaming ecosystem. We can provide uh, freedom to fail. We can provide a long row for experimentation. And I think that is required for the gaming ecosystem to really work. And the more and more game designers, more UI UX experts, more product managers, live operations guys really get on the job training, that is really going to spur more IPs being created out of India. Whether we are creating IPs for the world or IPs for India, that is not the primary point. I think the creation of IPs from India, which is going to really demonstrate and build value over long term, is something which is very important. And I think all of us here at Gato, at IMAI, will work towards making that happen uh, in the coming year and two, while we are working together as one team. The second point, the third point, besides policy and skilling, is the monetization part, right? The monetization part really creates uh, more and more investors to see this as a viable business. It helps them to really understand the levers of business, whether it's monetization on skill gaming, whether it's monetization through in-app purchase, whether it's monetization through esports. And I think all of that aspect of monetization is improving. I just wanted to kind of share some stats. We India market is roughly around $1.5 billion market, little bit more than that. Uh, in the skill gaming piece, we have seen monetization happening on fantasy, and we have seen monetization happening around card games, casual games. But what is also really happening is that India is usually seen as a DAO farm, as a download market, and very India is not really seen as a in-app purchase market. In last 3 years, the revenue from in-app purchase has grown from $50 million to $500 million. Now that has been really 10x increase. Yes, a lot of skeptics can say that given the size of market, it's still very small. Yes, it is small. We do not have a history of gaming of 40 years like China and US. We have a history which is not more than a decade in gaming. But the kind of acceleration and adoption which is happening of competitive multiplayer here, the whole behavior of play, compete, and watch is which is happening. This in-app purchase is just going to grow and grow faster. And that also really creates huge amount of opportunity for esports, where I believe, and I've been very strong votary of it since 2012 when I saw for the first time esports happening in Korea, in China. I believe that India in one day, esports viewership will be a very dominant force of entire sports entertainment. I believe that after cricket, sports entertainment will be driven by esports because that 14 to 21-year-old Gen Zs, they have their attention span is over even lesser. Our my previous generation was doing test match. We were ODI. Today's T20. The next generation is going to be a 20-minute match of an esports game, and that's where the whole roller coaster ride within 20 minutes, the unpredictability of outcome really comes into picture. And you would see that sports entertainment really getting defined with that kind of audience, that kind of high adrenaline viewership. And this is all going to happen very fast in our next 3 4 years. So I believe that this is a great opportunity for us to really look at any segment where we can really promote entrepreneurs to really do whether esports or skill gaming or free to play mobile gaming or applying gaming into various aspects, the gamification into education, health, fitness, fintech, all of it. So really the talent part of the skilling part is very important to really propel the whole gaming industry. And then the monetization is happening. Your domestic market is becoming bigger, both in terms of volume and value. And when your domestic market becomes bigger, more entrepreneurs happen. I've been part of this whole gaming industry for more than a decade, and seen from 40 gaming companies to more than 400, 500 gaming companies today and growing. And that's the power which I continue to see happening on the ecosystem side. Uh, very, very confident that access to capital at very early stage will start happening as more and more companies really exit. Gaming entrepreneurs are emerging, which will be far more understanding and appreciative of what really it needs to build a gaming company. Uh, the another thing which I wanted to kind of really touch upon, which I feel is very important for an industry which is very nascent, which is very new, but it is onus and is on the industry itself to create self-regulating frameworks. We are all seeing what is happening in China. All of us, or most of us who are old in this gaming industry, have seen the crazy growth from 2007-8 to 2020, the 12, 13 years of crazy growth of gaming in China. The huge amount of time spent, monetization, items, new kind of mechanisms, gacha happening uh, on the free to play mobile gaming side. In India, we have a unique model of skill gaming where the desire to kind of get more and more users to pay more can be very high when you are an operator. I think one of the key element and message which I would love to give as a kind of a veteran in this industry is that self-regulating framework is very important for us to ensure that we do not come and see and witness the knee-jerk reactions which the governments can take because of the negative media reporting, whether it's all about spending screen time, whether it's about spending money, whether it's about really looking at how much money are you losing, what kind of purchases are you happening, who is purchasing, what kind of ads are we running. I think there is a very strong need for a self-regulating framework for all of us to really come together and do it. uh, we are all working together. The good thing is there is a, though we are a nascent industry, we are really a formation of young entrepreneurs. But the beauty of this is that we all understand that if we don't act proactively, we are going to all suffer. It's not that one person can be over smart and kind of really get away with it. Nobody will get away it, and everybody is going to be really being seen from the same lanes, same lens, same colors, and we need to be really cognizant of that, and industry is cognizant of that. And so you would see some self-regulation frameworks coming the industry through a constant dialogue and discussions, different subgroups of forums being formed. And that's what I think is very important for us as a responsible, as a gaming companies, to really create a framework and a responsible gaming framework, and then evangelize and socialize it with different stakeholders so that they are aware, they understand where we are coming. Last but not the least, I'm very excited with this whole inclusion of esports in the Asian Games. Uh, it is important at multiple levels. It is important to really kind of create an awareness among our masses that there, when somebody is playing a video game, it is not that the guy does not need mental health, does not involve any kind of a physical stamina, physical strength, does not require, it's a couch potato kind of a behavior and you are kind of really atrophying. No. So that whole perception of India, if able to win medals in Asian Games, will further really help in creating massification of more and more acceptance of esports, of social competitive multiplayer gaming in our houses, which is very important because that's where the opinions get formed, which take shape of the ordinances and laws and rules. So it is important that we are able to really create a positive perception. Second thing is with esports being part of Asian Games, now there could be a forum and a partnership opportunities under Khelo India for esports championships to happen, national championships to happen, state championships to happen, athletes program to be run, coaches to be done, so that you are kind of really showcasing and working on seeing them as athletes, not as a gamers who are shirking away their responsibility. Third piece is that now you will see a lot more people coming out and investing in this whole ecosystem, which we know how important it is about game houses, game coaches, managers who are required to train these athletes. And I totally believe that given that we do not have a baggage of past compared to a track and field expertise some country may have. In esports, especially on mobile based games, India can truly be a contender for global medals in Asian Games as and when an Olympic happens. And that will kind of really create another opportunity for us to showcase our soft power, like in the recent sports events of Paralympics and the Olympics. We really celebrated our heroes. I think we would have very soon opportunity to celebrate esports heroes. So that's what I really kind of see from my key messages point of view, that we need to have a stability of a policy framework from all stakeholders, and we will engage as IMAI. We need to really create a very strong skilling through partnerships with our education institutes, as well as with the companies, global companies, local companies, which can really create on-the-job trainings. We would like to really have a self-regulation framework for responsible gaming. Esports would be our medal winner opportunities, really, for all of us to go about it. And then monetization is happening in India. It's a great market for global players to really come in and see that, and don't miss the boat, because this is the largest market standing. And what we have seen in China happening, don't have that kind of political decision making and stability here. With that, I'd like to open for a Q&A if there is any. Cool. Yes, if there is no Q&A, I would like to kind of wrap up my keynote. I don't want to uh, keep the audience. It's been a long day. And thank you, everyone. And thanks to all the sponsors and lovely organizing committee. Thanks. Well done.
Mr. Agarwal, we do have one question. Uh, we have a couple more coming in. So the first one being, what is it that investors primarily look at before investing? Is it the idea? Is it the potential value that the idea brings? Uniqueness of the sector, the idea, capabilities of the studio, need for the product in the market? By Mr. Vishal Mahajan has asked this question. So
Hi, Vishal. Vishal, great question. Purely a function of what stage are you talking about? If let's say you are in very, very early stage, you have an idea, you have a prototype, you kind of really want to look at uh, attracting early stage capital. Honestly, in gaming, you do not require too much of capital to start with. Uh, it is of 3-4 people with some very limited amount of capital with which you can really create your most lovable product. I will not say most viable product. Viable product happens in a problem solution space. I would say in gaming we should talk about most lovable product, which your users will kind of like it. They will come back at least for 2, 3, 4 days. If you can really create that product, launch it, get some 3,000, 2,000 people, and see that whether they are coming for first day, second day, third day, you will be able to see then further development you can take it forward. So depends upon where you are. Your investors will love the first round. The small round will come from friend and family because they know you are passionate about it. The second round is where your game is launched. You have seen some initial traction. Yes, you can then go to the early stage guys with some traction data, and then you can keep improving from there every stage. You can keep exciting your investors. And if your data is great, trust me, there is huge amount of fear of missing out, FOMO, among the ecosystem. And the moment your data starts showing good, you will have lineup of people who would like to chase you.
We do have a couple more questions if you'd like to address them as well.
Sure.
Mr. Raul Bhora asks if you foresee a consolidation in this sector in the coming years.
So consolidation is a nature of business which is bound to happen in a fragmented large market. So when you have a very large addressable market, when you have a huge amount of value being created, the initial cycle is that you will have 2 3 people which have become big. You will have a lot more people who are aspiring to be big. Many gaming companies will happen. Some of them will really see some early promises, and then consolidation will happen. So consolidation, I think, is a nature of businesses which have low entry barrier, huge amount of passion, creativity, and India has no dearth of it.
That's a good answer. I think there's also some chat about what how would you define esports and what kind of games would you include when you refer to esports?
To me, it's very simple. People watching playing video games. That is esports, right?
Right.
Now, they may be playing in a free to participate tournament, they may be playing in a pay to participate tournament, doesn't matter. It is like I believe I'm a BGMI fan. Yash is the best BGMI player in India. I would love to see him play. And when large number of people are watching Yash, that is esports.
Right. And I think a final question, if you'd like to take it, is it possible to get capital without a prototype if the product can't be developed with bootstrapped money?
It's absolutely possible. It's a function of how good storyteller you are, right?
Right.
What kind of props, what kind of vision, what kind of confidence you can convey. And more often than not, in a content business, such leap of faith would be taken by the people who are in the content creative space. It would be very difficult for a first time entrepreneur who does not have a track record of gaming to convince a financial investor to take that leap of faith on you, right? So typically, if you are a first time entrepreneur, you should go to somebody who appreciates the creative piece and not just the business and KPI guy, and they will be able to take that leap of faith with you.
All right. I think that's all the questions we have for this session as well. So
Perfect.
I'd
Cool.
like to thank you once again on behalf of IMAI, Mr. Agarwal. Thank you for that insightful talk and for answering all the questions. It's been a delight to have you here.
Thanks, Yash. Thank
I
you.
would
Thanks, everyone.
I would also like to once again thanks all the attendees and our sponsors for making Gato 2021 possible. We really enjoyed the event throughout the day, and we look forward to seeing you guys next year.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Agarwal.
Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.